podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the voice of the people. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
BoxingVoice.com.
You need that fear.
All I'm trying to do is make a stand for something that I truly believe is right. I truly believe is right. I want to be like you. Come on, man. I'm the face of boxing. I'm the cash cow. I hold the record for pay-per-view.
My drop, I know my drop, I know my situation. I want to fight. That's my production. But it's gonna be very difficult for both of us.
BoxingVoice.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another immediate reaction post-fight show. Today, we're back with our immediate reaction of Terence Crawford, who knocks out Indongo in 3 and basically crushes him. I mean, he really showed that he and Indongo are not on the same level. I'm not going to get too deep into it without discussing it with my co-host out in the Golden State. Let me head on out to the sunny California.
Dollar-D Beyonce production.
This is a beautiful performance against a very tough guy in Michael Johnson. How do you feel about it? Fuck that. Conor McGregor.
BoxingVoice.com.
You know me, Larry. From a wicked entrance, from a flip over the rock into a knockout. Now, when the main thing is, I just hope the guy, I wish.
BoxingVoice.com.
Yes, the Hipsters here. Haters beware. Terence Crawford demolished Julius Indongo, proving that he's, pound for pound number 2, maybe number 1, in terms of just pure skill and technique. The guy's on another level compared to 99.999% of boxers on the planet today. I think we're truly watching a great before us, and I just can't wait to see this ride continue to welterweight, because I know that's where he's heading next. I know he's going to go face the Keith Thurmans, the Earl Spence, the Danny Garcias, the Sean Porters, the Manny Pacquiaos, the Jeff Horns. He's going after all those guys, and let's be honest, he could beat them all. So I can't wait to see what sort of accolades and achievements he does next, because he just conquered another division. So now it's time for the next.
Well, since we're being honest, I mean, he might not fight those guys either. Once upon a time, Timothy Bradley was a popular top-rank welterweight. Moved up from 140 after kind of doing something similar to this, beating what most boxing writers consider to be the man in Devin Alexander a long time ago. He beat Devin Alexander in Detroit, then signed the top rank. And, he got to face the Jesse Vargases and the Pacquiaos of the world, Ruslan, but he never mixed it up. Yeah, well, Marquez has always been
Marquez is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but he's always been doing business with Top Rank. He never got to mix it up with any of the other welterweights. Like Timothy Bradley has an entire welterweight career we didn't get to see. We didn't see him with any of the Thurmans, any of the, Porters. None of those guys, none. He didn't cross the street, and that can very well happen to Terence Crawford, but that is for another show. Today's show is
very quickly, just to add some ray of hope, just very quickly. Let's remember Terence Crawford has already gone across the yard and worked with Al Haymon fighters.
He hasn't gone across the yard. Haymon's.
I see what you're saying.
With no lack of disrespect,
fought with Haymon fighters.
Lack of disrespect, Haymon's lesser fighters went to HBO Network. Come on. Anyway, let's stick to the topic. It's the immediate reaction. What he was able to do. He went through this guy like a hot butter knife through butter. I expected, a little more resistance from this guy. I watched the Indongo fight. The Ricky Burns fight and the Chernovsky fight. I seen his height and his range, and I expected a little more. Brian McIntyre and Crawford had the perfect game plan. As Teddy Atlas would say, this guy's punches were fat and very wide, and they were coming down the middle. Impressive to see Crawford get knockdowns to the body. Just shows his level of IQ in there. And from early on in that first round, when he landed that counter left or was it, excuse me, counter right hook, right? Right away, he knew that they were not on the same level. I mean, the way that Indongo reacted, and Crawford jumped on him in that first round. He wasn't able to finish him in the first, but he definitely jumped on him after landing that counter right.
No, Crawford, you can tell from the very onset of that fight that he was just on a different level. His shots were just a little bit more crisper. His shots were a little more clean, a little more compact. And they seemed to affect Indongo early on. I remember there was like one short hook they landed on the inside, and Indongo looked a little bit shaky. I remember there's one body shot that seemed to affect him, and you could just tell from then on that Indongo felt pressure. Like it looked like Crawford was pressuring the bigger, taller guy and being better at it and dominating and pushing his will on him. I think it was just a masterclass. There was no instant of Indongo winning that fight.
I was happy to hear Terence Crawford when Joe Tessitore asked him, was this the last time we were going to see him at 140 pounds? He said, I'm coming. Obviously, you know, he also said, I have to go fishing and let my team, you know, kind of see what's what. But, man, it's so interesting just to think where he may go next from here. Because I think it was Bernardo Suna that did say, are you done at 140 or is there unfinished business? I don't know why they didn't say Mikey's name, but obviously Mikey Garcia is the unfinished business. I wouldn't say it belongs to Terence Crawford, that 140-pound problem being Mikey, because Crawford already cleaned out the division. But if he chooses to stick around, it shouldn't be for anyone else other than Mikey Garcia. What do you think?
I agree. That's the only one that seems reasonable to me. And if Adrian Broner had beat Mike Garcia, I would say Adrian Broner is the only other reasonable guy at 140 that I would like to see. The Sergey Lipinets of the world, I don't want to see those matchups. I don't want to see any more Indongos. I'm tired of those. I'm tired of the Felix Diaz's. I want to see him fight the best guys on the planet, and those guys at 147, not at 140. You know, imagine fights with him and Earl Spence. Like, that would be insane. I know another Garcia, Danny Garcia, would make a lot of sense. I know they have a rivalry from the amateurs. Those fights sell. Those fights could easily sell out almost any stadium, I would say, in the U.S. Those fights could be very big. They could be marketed a certain way.
I mean, at this point, though, Crawford versus one of those welterweights, is it just the normal primetime fight? Is that the way that the business mind of Top Rank is looking at it? Like, are they going to do Crawford Porter for free? Crawford Thurman for free? Crawford Danny for free? Is that in their future plans?
But what do you mean by free? I mean, CBS does pay for their fights. I mean, CBS paid for Danny Garcia for Keith Thurman.
Free meaning you and I don't have to pay for it.
Yes, they're doing it right now. They put Manny Pacquiao on free TV, for God's sake.
Versus Jeff Horn. How much was his purse? 20,000 maybe?
Yeah, but what was Pacquiao's in the millions?
Doesn't matter when you're not worrying about the other side, bro.
When Pacquiao's making $20 million a fight, and you're looking at a 5-5 split, $5 million split between Danny Garcia and like.
Do you think that the Suncorp gave Pacquiao to go to Australia? You think he went over there based off Bob Arum or what they were guaranteeing him, bro? Come on.
But again, we're talking about Manny Pacquiao, who gets paid.
You brought him up.
More money.
You brought him up.
These two guys.
You brought him up.
And the fact that he was on free TV. And you don't hold on. You don't think Bob?
Because of Australia.
You don't think Bob and Al Heyman could figure out a way to get Danny Garcia,
I'm not saying they cannot,
and Terence Crawford all paid?
I'm not saying they cannot. I asked you a simple question.
I don't believe in that reality or that world that you're talking about, where there's not a way these guys can get paid to make this fight. Yes, there's a way these guys can get paid. There's going to be enough eyeballs on that fight. The idea that those fights can't happen due to money, I think, is preposterous. I think that's a stupid reason to not make those fights.
Well, I mean,
that's an excuse.
Ward Kovalev was a difficult fight to make, and it ended up on pay-per-view. And I think that Ward Kovalev sounds no different than Crawford Thurman right now.
I highly disagree with that. I highly disagree with that.
Whoa.
Keith Thurman did $5.5 million on prime time on CBS. Let's not ignore that number. That's an insane number.
I don't know if you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. Maybe I wasn't clear enough on my thought. What I'm saying is that they're on that level in terms of purses because of who they're facing. The fact that Kovalev Ward had to go to pay-per-view because Ward got like 6 point something.
Yeah, but they're not getting paid that much. Crawford and Danny are getting paid $6 million.
Not now. Danny and
Keith didn't get paid $6 million each. Come on.
They got 2 each.
Exactly.
Okay. So what? You think they're gonna stay on the same pay scale and the risk is gonna keep going?
Right. Maybe it's 2.5, but like the idea that these guys are gonna get paid 6 to 10 million paychecks is not.
Well, Matt, you tell me, because it seems to me that both Crawford and
you're making a market that doesn't need to be existed. Like there's no market.
And Crawford and Thurman have comparable opponents to Andre Ward. Andre Ward's pay scale is at 6.5.
And don't most people think the Ross Nation overpaid him?
Miguel Cotto's couple of fights ago was like at 10. What do you think that these fighters are looking at that and they don't want that?
Didn't most people think those were overpaid contracts anyways? But again, the guys that we're talking about don't get paid that. And I don't think they would be demanding a $6 to $10 million paycheck for those fights. You may see an uptick, of course, but not anything astronomical. We're not talking about them getting paid tens of millions of dollars. And they probably know that. But they're also okay making multiple seven figures a fight.
I don't see
when Jamel Charlo is getting paid $100,000 for Charles Hatley.
You can't compare Jamel Charlo to Terence Crawford.
I'm just saying these guys making millions of dollars. They're happy with it.
You can't compare Hatley. You can't make Hatley either Thurman or Crawford. The risk.
Just saying that we have champions getting paid very little. These guys getting paid $2 to $3 to maybe $4 million for the fights we're talking about is completely reasonable.
Bro, Gennady Golovkin is getting that type of money. I mean, all right, man. We can move on. We don't have to stay stuck with this because for whatever reason you think that fighters are going to stay at $2 million when there's dozens already.
I just said they can move up. I just said they can move up to 3 or 4, and it's still reasonable.
You actually said maybe 2.5.
And apparently you just missed the words I just said because I said 2 to 3 to 4 million, and that's reasonable. I said those exact words.
It's not reasonable. First of all, Kovalev isn't a fucking multiple division champion. He got his first titles in one division. Crawford is multiple division, moving up. Thurman has multiple titles in that same division. It is a bigger fight than Ward and Kovalev. Okay? You just don't see it, and that's okay. We can move on. But those guys have more accolades together. Ward was the strong side on that fight, and that fight generated what money it made, and those fighters demanded the money that it did. So, and with Danny, he got $2 million, and he didn't do what Crawford just did at 140. Danny was undisputed, but he didn't have every single title.
But Danny's also a bigger star.
Was a bigger star.
Still is.
Was a bigger star. You know, what have you done for me lately? Where's he at? I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Hey, he's on reality TV. That helps. If you don't think that helps, that does help.
I didn't even know he was on reality TV.
Yeah, his sisters are.
Well, his sisters aren't him.
But he's on it with them.
I thought last time I checked, Sweet 16 was one episode.
Yeah, that's reality TV.
One episode.
Yeah, it got tons of promo. But anyways,
he's on reality TV like he's on a fucking reoccurring series.
No, but I mean, he was on reality TV once, and it did help him. If you don't think that helped him, it did help.
It made him an overnight success.
No, it didn't make him overnight success. Oh my god.
I'm just saying.
You're on one today, man. I'm in a happy mood. You're in an angry mood, man. This was a good fight.
I'm just saying, Crawford,
undisputed champion. Let's be happy.
Crawford moves up to 47. He deserves to be paid properly, especially with the list of people that people want to line him up against. Again, with that same thing. I mean, look at Daniel Jacobs, right? His biggest fight is Gennady Golovkin, and before that, Peter Quillen, right? And how much? I mean, obviously we don't know, but he got more than what he was supposed to according to the WBA rules, right? It just is what it is, man. When you get to that level of elites, they're gonna get paid.
Okay.
But you want to open up that phone lines? Any final thoughts on this masterful performance for sure? I mean, he handled that height a lot easier than what I assumed he would. I mean, I never thought he would have trouble, but never thought it would be this easy. He made your guy look like nothing.
Yeah, this was a lot easier, I think, than most people expected. I don't know really how to rank this. Is Indongo just somebody that we overrated? But let's be honest, Crawford is such a sublime boxer that we can honestly start seeing him being able to beat a Thurman, beat the Spence, beat the Sean Porters, beat the Danny Garcias. Like, those fights seem more reasonable. Thurman, but I know. Hey, I know you're a big Keith Thurman fan. It's okay. I'm just saying. You know, a week ago, I would have been very hesitant on saying I'm picking Crawford against any of those guys. Now I'm going, well, he can. He definitely can. He can go up there and clean house just like he did at 140. Yeah, I think he can. I think he can. I think he's
coming from a guy who 10 seconds ago said a statement like, I don't know if we overrated Indongo. I mean, you know, make up your mind.
Again, this is my immediate reaction. I haven't sat down and, you know, decompressed and really took this fight in and watched it again.
No, don't let me change your opinion. You should.
No, my opinion is the same. I think Terence Crawford's a transcendental sort of.
No, call him a superstar because you
not a superstar. No. In terms of
Indongo, when no one did, you know.
No, I'm not saying he's a superstar. That's a very specific word. I'm saying that
when slaughtered your boy.
Hold on, Ness. Calm down. Stay in your lane, Ness. Okay. When people watch Crawford, I think it transcends the art of boxing. You see everything you want from a boxer in Terence Crawford. He's a creative fighter. He really is. He does everything almost perfect. The way people talk about Lomachenko, you got to talk about that with Crawford because he is the Matrix. He does things that are unbelievable.
Did that bother you? What? That Atlas had Lomachenko at number 1 over Crawford.
What bothered me is that I don't know if it was Atlas who did this, but it was Atlas's list. They had the Cuban flag next to Earl Spence's name. And plus, they were just getting shit wrong all the time on the telecast. God, ESPN, Top Rank, step up your game. That was some awful shit. You had Dylan White's name over, I think it was Steven Edwards or whatever. So, like, come on. Like, you got to fix this shit up. This is amateur hour. This is ESPN. But yeah, we can open up the phone lines. Terence Crawford, unbelievable. Can't wait to see what he does next.
I don't know how to how to feel about Lomachenko being rated over Ward and Crawford.
I don't even want to talk about it.
And obviously Triple G on Teddy Atlas's list.
Don't want to talk about it. I think it's preposterous.
Which brings me to the fact that we don't have the equal amount of thumbs up matching the views. Can you do us a favor and hit that thumbs up button? I mean, is it really that hard? What's up, message guy?
By the way, when you do go to the phone lines, we do have a ringer, KM Star.
Well, get to him.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
Hey guys, how you doing?
What up, Cam Star?
I mean, I don't think there was any surprises here, except he did it so easily. I didn't think it was going to be, what was it, second, third round? This is what we want from our champions. I mean, dominant. This was dominance in the highest form. It's good for him. It looks like he filled that arena out, so that was great. I definitely am not ready to call him a superstar in the commercial sense yet, but he's definitely on his way. And, like, he can't be denied that just based on his pure quality, you know? And, again, he can keep doing the fights in Omaha. I think he can bridge that East Coast, West Coast, whatever Omaha is, get out here to Brooklyn, fill out the Barclays Center. You know, I think the next fight will be a critical fight in terms of just increasing his standing. I'm not sure who the right welterweight is for him, you know, moving up right away. I mean, I think the Danny Garcia fight's probably the right fight, but it sounds like he can probably get that Thurman rematch. And I think Danny losing to a 140-pound champ moving up is not what he wants for his career right now. So I don't think that'd be the likeliest fight. I think that Pacquiao fight's there because, Adam, you know, you see that little greedy look in his eye at the post-fight, like that little glint in his eye. He's ready to cash out Pacquiao for sure again, right? Like Pacquiao's that guy. It's the gift that keeps on giving for Adam. He keeps getting to cash him out again and again and again, actually. So I think maybe that fight will get made. If not, the fight I'd like for him is probably like the, let me think, Porter's probably too much moving right in. I think he'd win that fight, actually. So maybe that's the right fight there. The Berto's too easy for him. I mean, that's what I'm wondering. Like, who's the fight to elevate his name, his brand, for him to look good and dominate? Probably it's the Pacquiao fight then, really. Other than that, I wonder if he could be a two-weight champion simultaneously. I keep seeing that historical name. Is it Henry Armstrong? I feel like when I look at Terence Crawford, he's probably the guy who could do it again now. Like, he could probably defend these titles and still go up to 147 and win a strap or two. I think he would probably have difficulty with the big ones, you know, in terms of size, like Errol Spence, but who knows? That's my call. I'm really interested in you guys' thoughts on that.
You know, Matt, since this guy's top rank, it makes most sense if somehow Jeff Horn could get that rematch in the bag, put Crawford in there with him first. And then that opens up the opportunity that KM Star is talking about where, you know, he could defend multiple divisions. Because if you get the win over Jeff Horn, you get that welterweight popularity, then you could come back and make that, you know, Mikey Garcia fight, right? Why not?
Drive-by.
Yes, sir. Give him 45 seconds each person. We're getting to Marcus in DC. Go.
Yo, real quick, man. That's what we're supposed to be saying, man. Like an undisputed champion. I can't understand how we get undisputed champion, then we try to rush him into another fight with another person. Man, I'd like to see him against Mikey at 140, man, and then move up to fight anybody that he wants to fight at 147. If he does go to 47, he should take a title fight off the break. I don't want to see him against Porter. I don't want to see him against Danny Garcia. It's kind of tainting what he's done so quickly. And I hope Andre Ward's watching, man, and get some pointers, man. Go get that belt at 175. I'm out. Terence Crawford, the best fighter in boxing, period. Pound for pound list, Terence Crawford. Pound for pound list should be, if you got these all guys at the same way, who could be who? And with the movement we've seen, people giving Gennady problems. Terence Crawford 160 gives Gennady problems. Terence Crawford, Gennady, Lomachenko. I'm out.
Cut it. We have another ringer here.
Well, go ahead to him, and while you're doing that, think about this. How is Lomachenko above Crawford, Ward, and Gennady, but he hasn't avenged that loss to Salido on Teddy Atlas's pound for pound? I just don't know. Who's the ringer?
Dempsey.
Dempsey, what up?
What up, guys? What up? I'm going to try to make this quick. Regarding Terence Crawford, congrats to the man. Dominant performance. Definitely proved that he is the king at 147. In regards to him, going up to 147, we always know politics get in the way of things sometimes. So I wouldn't be surprised if we end up seeing him in a fight with Jesse Vargas. And, you know, he gets past Vargas, probably fight someone else, maybe a fight with Jeff Horn. And then hopefully if politics can get past the bullshit and business can get done, hopefully we can see him fight a unification fight with any of the guys that are holding the titles right now. Not Dan Garcia, Keith Thurman. Cut it.
Going out to Cali Zone, Info Joe.
This portion of the show we call In the Know, presented by my brother.
Yo, shout out to Crawford. He's one of my favorite fighters. Boxing guys should be very, very proud of him. He's the only unified champ in all of boxing. I would still put Andre Ward pound for pound #1, Crawford #2. Crawford doesn't have the body of work that Ward does. You know, you can't compare the resumes there as far as competition. I would like to see him fight Mikey before moving up to 147. And when he does move up to 147, I think he should be very selective in who he picks his first fight. You have to remember, he said Gamboa was his toughest fight. What would the fuck Sean Porter do to Gamboa? And with Gamboa being the hurt Sean Porter.
Cut it. New Jersey, talk to us.
Yo, Terence Crawford, definitely impressed with, definitely a hipster pick. Indongo, I'm not taking nothing away from him, but Indongo was definitely a hipster pick. And sometimes, Matt, the only problem with being a hipster is that you guys tend to make things so disposable. So, a couple callers, they mentioned some good fights for Crawford. Of course, I mentioned that I would love to see him fight Danny, but at the same time, fighting against Pacquiao or Jeff Horn or Jesse Vargas, I think that's also, a pretty good fight. And that's my call. We'll talk more about it tomorrow.
All right, going back to California, Santiago, talk to us.
Hey, guys. So, obviously, like most of us, I don't think any one of us really expected Crawford to get him out so fast and in such time. And with a body shot, no less. Most of us probably thought it was going to be like some, cold cock headshot that basically leaves them almost lifeless. But kudos to Crawford. Obviously, the next step, if he's not going to fight Mikey Garcia, is to move to 147, get in with those guys, Garcia, maybe Broner if he decides to go to 147. Honestly, the sky's the limit for that guy. 147. 147 is the glamour division right now, and that's my call.
Matt, do you put Crawford on an undercard of Pacquiao at this point, or is he a main eventer only? Because I'm thinking, you get on the undercard of Jeff Horn, Pacquiao, maybe versus Saddam Ali or Jesse Vargas?
Depends what these numbers are. I'm very curious about what these numbers are for this event.
Let's go out to Anthony and Cincy.
Yo, what's up, man? TVV. So first thing, I love Terence Crawford's performance. I had no idea he was gonna stop him so soon. I thought maybe late round stoppage or bad decision, but one thing I didn't like, Teddy Atlas pound for pound list, get Lomachenko off of there. He's got no accolades as a pro, all amateur. Leave it at that. Until he's got 10 more fights where he's done something special, leave it off. I like Jesse Vargas as a tune-up at 147. Then he gets to the big names, and he gets it rolling from there. Yeah, Sean Porter's too much right now. Jesse Vargas is good, and I like to see him. That's my call.
Cincinnati on the check-in. Thanks for calling in. We're going out to Nas in Connecticut. Talk to us. Nas, talk to us. Going once.
Yo, hello?
Yes, sir. 45 seconds, go.
Yeah, I think Terence Crawford looked amazing. Sold out. He sold out that crowd. Definitely a superstar. Definitely would like to see him at 147. Danny Garcia, any one of those guys, I think he can definitely be bigger and just as big as Floyd is now. And that's my call. Thanks a lot.
Nas, thanks for calling in. Remember, if you're watching this in the future, present, past, right now, hit that thumbs up button. Don't be afraid. Sharing the show helps with the visibility of the show, helps us get new callers, new characters, people that you eventually want to hear from. We're going out to Ohio.
If you know like I know, you should lie low. Killer, I used to get it in Ohio.
Yeah, man. Terence Crawford did his thing, man. I really don't see how people didn't see this coming. I mean, especially on my hardcores. I just want to say, man, it's time for him to go to 147. There's no reason for him to stay down here anymore at 140. And only person he can't beat really is probably Keith Thurman. Well, I can't say he can't beat Keith Thurman, but that's the only person to say it's 50-50s. Him, Keith Thurman, and he's too small for Errol Spence right now. And that's my call.
Jay Will, thanks for calling in. Going out to the Skype. Jacob, talk to us.
Yo, what up? Great fight. Honestly, I was talking earlier today, and I thought, you know, round 7 through 12 is just gonna be all Crawford, and it's just gonna be UD. Did not expect a third round body shot knockout. Yeah, it was the hipster pick. It was the Postol. He was the Postol 2.0, but even worse. Honestly, whatever Crawford wants to do next, he should do next. A lot of good things. Yeah, right. So many options for him. I think he deserves a soft touch if he wants one. But yeah, that's my call. Good show. Thanks, guys.
Wake up. Thanks for calling in, my friend. We're going out. Back to the phone lines. Let's get to some alumni on the line.
Yo, first of all, let me say, I don't play Showtime to see you all there, not even putting a goddamn motherfucking effort. If I want to see two motherfuckers just fight, I pick up a fight with somebody in the street. Don't need that shit. You don't love that sport, my dude? Just move along. Gone. Fuck you. Next, what a great show. Thumbs up, donate. Hey, yo. Listen, 45 seconds and counting, bro. Crawford, he's on top of the world. The one that demon minimize this man accomplishment, but he's the king of the desert, doggy. You know what I'm saying? Ain't really nothing out there in 140. Move along from there. And let me see a Sean Porter fight. I want to see Sean Porter. So you talk to the Porter, Ness. You cool with them. So make that shit happen. Everybody out there donate. That's my call.
Well, all right, Georgie, thanks for calling in. We're going out to Freddie in the San Fernando Valley. Talk to us.
Man, honestly, great fight. Terence Crawford is the man. I have him as my pound for pound number one on the list. I did not expect an early stoppage, especially from the body. You know, amazing fight. He's number one. I wouldn't mind him seeing him move up to 147, but I do believe there's some unfinished business. You know, people are talking about the Mikey Garcia fight. So if he could clean that up with Mikey Garcia, by all means, after that fight, move up to 147, get a tune-up with Jesse Vargas, and fight, you know, from there, fight Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman. Those are some great fights at 147. But that's my call. Thanks, man.
Cut it. Going out to Big Brother Doomsday. Talk to us.
Hey, shout out to TV. Shout out to TBV. Hey, Early, yo, just rename him King Crawford. Shout out to King from Omaha, Nebraska. Getting it, loving that 140 Nebraska jersey. That was great. I mean, everybody needs to stop rushing that man. For real, he's in that top rank situation. He's not gonna get a lot of the fights we want to see, but definitely respect the fact that he's the king and nobody else is doing that right now. Top five, real quick. Andre Ward's above him because he got better resume. Bud second. I'll even put Triple G and Canelo right next to each other. Lomachenko not in the top five, man. Cut it.
Well. 207-507. First time caller.
Yep, I'm there.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and play this first time caller intro. Let the world know your name, where you're calling from.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his professional debut.
112 Sports. Calling from Maine.
112 Sports from Maine.
Yep.
All right, brother, give us your thoughts.
Well, going into the fight, I thought it was very similar to the Philip Endo versus Mayweather fight. So I figured it was going to end up the same way because it's kind of like fool's gold. You know, Indongo was overrated by the media, I think, and I actually believe that Terence Crawford should have won this fight by knockout, because Indongo had too many holes to be exploited. And he's a good fighter, but Terence Crawford's an elite fighter. There's a difference. And he doesn't want any with Keith Thurman. I can't see him being that because Keith Thurman is a boxer, serious puncher, and that straight right hand. Out of that Crawford in the southpaw stance.
Cut it. 112 Sports. Don't take it personal. It is drive-by. It's time to go. This is just an immediate reaction show. And that's what we're here. We're here to give you our immediate reaction. We're here to get your immediate reaction. And if you wanted to actually follow our live fight reaction, you could have did that on patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice, where we did a couple of live fight chats for a lot of these undercard prelims. Definitely head on over to boxingvoice.com. There's a Patreon button there. If you don't know how to spell, patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. I'm your host, Nestor Gibbs. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NestGTO. Final thoughts. Crawford is the man. I'd like, I don't know. Jeff Horn is tied up. I'm living in a realistic top-ranked world. So Vargas, Saddam Ali, those type of welterweights don't interest me. I'd like him to go fishing, like he said, and see if he gets an offer from Showtime and Mikey Garcia. Catch us tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for our regularly scheduled flagship show.
Join us every Thursday and Sunday live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time,
where some guys will get some crow for picking it wrong. Matt, you're up.
And I'm the host, Matt Hipster Hunter. You can find me at Combat News on Twitter, Matt Hunter TBV on Instagram, and my MMA podcast, Mixed Combat News, on Patreon, SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, Facebook, etc. And final thought, very quickly, Crawford's the man, like you said. I think everyone has it right. Crawford is the king of this division. He's the king almost of boxing, I would say, at this point. He stands.
You're out of control, Anthony Joshua. If you can call anyone the king of boxing, it's fucking Anthony Joshua or Canelo.
Skill. I'm not talking about stardom.
Not even like Mayweather, then Canelo, or maybe
Mayweather's fighting an MMA fighter. What are we talking about? Get that bullshit out of here.
Exactly. He's eclipsed.
Terence Crawford's the man. He cleaned out his division.
Talking about Crawford till like 2 days ago. That's how much Mayweather McGregor meant to you.
Doesn't matter. Crawford's the man. And I can't wait to see him at welterweight. I think he's going to go out there and probably beat almost everyone, if not everyone. And I can't wait to see that greatness be achieved. You can catch me later. Peace.
You better not duck me, son. You better not duck me, son.
Beat him, then be pound for pound. Deuces.